On Sunday, June 18th, Father's Day will be celebrated across the country as our nation pauses once again to honor those called Dad. Cards will be exchanged, gifts will be opened, and families will gather to recognize the strength, wisdom, and sacrifices of these special men. But what if I told you that Father's Day is not an innocent holiday? Would you want to find out why? Or would you dismiss this claim without so much as a by your leave? Either way, Father's Day has a history steeped in darkness and paganism. No one can deny it. Fathers have been celebrated long before Christ was even born. And no, I'm not referring to earthly fathers. You see, Father's Day is closely related to pagan celebrations in honor of the sky gods, summer solstice, and sun gods. The changing seasons of the year are created by Earth's annual orbit around the sun. Solstices are the extreme points as Earth's axis tilts toward or away from the sun, when days and nights are longest or shortest. On equinoxes, days and nights are equal in all parts of the world. 4 cross-quarter days roughly mark the midpoints in between solstices and equinoxes. Seasonal celebrations of most cultures cluster around these same natural turning points. During these rituals, whenever goats were sacrificed, they tied ribbons around the goats' necks. This was done to set them apart from the rest of the herd. Ever wonder where we got the tradition of gifting our fathers ties on this holiday? Everything in these holidays have pagan symbolism. Nothing is new under the sun. According to ancient cultures, sky fathers referred to sky gods who were looked upon as fathers. And I state this in plural because there are so many sky fathers. In fact, most cultures have one. Sky Father is a translation of the Vedic pantheon, Deus Pita. This Indian god is the equivalent of the Roman god Jupiter and the Greek god Zeus. Father's Day is closely related to the summer solstice pagan practices. You will see what I mean in a minute. The word solstice comes from the Latin word solstitium, which means sun stands still. It is the longest day of the year and the shortest night in the northern hemisphere. It is known by different names throughout the world. In Europe, for example, it is called midsummer. Wiccans and neo-pagans refer to it as Letha. The summer solstice is the longest day of the year, and in some traditions, Letha is when a battle between light and dark takes place. In this battle, the Oak King and the Holly King battle for control. During each solstice, they battle for power, and the balance shifts. The Oak King, who represents daylight, rules from the winter solstice, Yule, to Letha. During this time, the days steadily get longer. However, during Letha, the Holly King wins this battle, and the days get steadily darker until Yule. To the Catholic Church, it is St. John's Day. All are one and the same and can trace their roots all the way back to ancient times. Letha is an ancient pagan celebration that is still practiced today. In honor of the summer solstice and sky fathers, pagans and Wiccans light up bonfires on hilltops to signify the space between earth and sky. It was and is still considered a time to find the balance between fire and water. In ancient times, Europeans set up large wheels on fire and rolled them down a hill into a body of water. Bonfires also have pagan symbolism. The word bonfire comes from bonefire, to refer to the ashes and bones left over from animal and human sacrifices. Pagans celebrated the summer solstice by sacrificing to the sky fathers, sun gods, and women performed pagan rituals. Letha is associated with the goddess Epona. Ancient pagans marked off midsummer holidays as well. Athenian Greeks marked their new year at midsummer with Panethania, a celebration of the goddess Athena. Ancient Romans honored Juno with feast and also celebrated Vestilia, the holiday honoring Vesta. It wasn't until 1910, however, that the first official Father's Day celebration took place in America. In 1909, Sonora Dodd, a woman from Spokane, Washington, founded Father's Day in the U.S. She wanted to honor her father, William Smart, a Civil War veteran who raised her and 5 siblings after his wife died giving birth to their last child. Sonora wanted to honor him during his birth month, which happened to be in June. She is said to have had the idea in 1909 while listening to a sermon on Mother's Day, another pagan holiday celebrating false gods, which at the time was becoming established as a holiday. Local religious leaders supported the idea, and the first Father's Day was celebrated on June 19, 1910, the month of the birthday of Dodd's father. In 1924, U.S. President Calvin Coolidge gave his support to the observance, and in 1966, President Lyndon B. Johnson issued a proclamation that recognized the day. It became a national holiday in 1972 when President Richard Nixon signed legislation designating the third Sunday of June as Father's Day. Most of these pagan holidays fall on Sunday or the day of their most powerful god, the sun. Coincidence? I don't think so. As I have stated over and over, everything and anything that does not worship God worships something or someone else. And although you may not celebrate them with conscious intention of worshiping the enemy, we do so when these holidays were created to worship other gods. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. Hosea 4:6. This is the type of thing that God repeatedly punished Israel for doing. It is spiritual adultery, and no matter how you may look at it, it will remain pagan. You can change the name, change the traditions, they will never be sanctioned by God. As sons and daughters, we can show our love to our fathers every day, not just on one day. If you don't believe anything I say, it doesn't affect me. Do your own research and ask God to guide you. We must want to know and follow truth more than we love our man-made festivals. And if there's something I am convinced about, it's that God is not honored by any of these holidays, no matter how many times we may say His name.